You caught me in the middle of cleaning. Cleaning at Randyland? Yeah, look, we have the vacuum. We have the rug cleaner. This is a Regina. Isn't that nice? And here we have a Panasonic vacuum. These are different things that we had for the different stores over the years, and obvious maintenance uses. It's not all fun and gravy, You don't just go in and turn on the lights. You gotta take care of the things. So this is stuff you do. And this is a hot water heater that we had under one of the counters. That's an actual hot water heater. It's not a big one. It's a little baby one. And it was under one of the counters, so we had quick hot water at the sinks rather than waiting for the hot water to come in from way in the back of the store, because typically, stores are 100 feet on the boardwalk or more, so that water's got to travel an awful long way through small pipes in order to get up to the front. So to get something quicker, you had these miniature hot water heaters. What are these boxes? Well, they are filled with glass tumblers. This is a Pepsi one. Look at that. This is a whole box of Pepsis. This one, root beer. Look at that. Look at dead bug in there too. Root beer. They came in all different models and styles, and you had to buy cases and cases of them. And we used them as prizes all over the place. Here's a movie machine. It really has a very old-time look to it. I don't know a whole lot about this one. This might have been a knockoff to look like an old mutoscope. There's obviously should have been a piece of glass there. There isn't a glass there now, but that was the viewer, and you'd look in, and you'd see the film inside projecting. Now, typically these round ones used the cards that flipped that would turn, and you would see like a picture of animation. But this wasn't that. I believe this had a film in it, and it played either a cartoon or it played, some kind of black and white, Laurel and Hardy film or something of this nature. Because look, they were running it at a quarter. Can you imagine? They didn't run things at a quarter back in that day. So it's an interesting piece. I got it in a group of machines that I purchased one time. And there we are. This is a popcorn machine, kids. This is the kind of popcorn machine you would see in the 5 and 10 cent store. Popcorn's at 5 and 10 cent store. They would load, it's like a giant gumball machine. They would load the top up with popcorn. You'd put your coin in it, and it would simply vend down into the bottom, and I'm pretty sure it didn't even give you its own cup. You probably had to have a cup from the external thing here, open it, shove your cup in, it would drop the popcorn in it, and you'd get your popcorn. And it had a light bulb in there that would keep the popcorn warm, because incandescent bulbs would get some warmth. And this is the way you would get popcorn in places that didn't serve a lot of popcorn and didn't have popcorn machines where they were popping fresh popcorn. And I remember, not only did they have them in the little seashore shops in Lavalette and Ocean Beach, down in my day Monterey Beach, there was an old Hyde's 5 and 10 cent store. They had one. Ben Franklin store in Lavalette, they had one. But the Lavalette Theater, the movie theater, the Lavalette movie theater, had one of these there for when it wasn't busy and they weren't making fresh popcorn. You could get it from the machine. And it always had a stale taste to it because it was stale popcorn. They take the old popcorn that they made from the popper and they didn't sell it. They'd throw it in this thing so the next time you came, there was you get the old popcorn. But it was, it's a memory. So, I mean, I got a few of these. Do you know what this is? Some of you guys who are really into game collecting and you think you know all the answers, what is that? What is that? Do you know? Think Atari. What is that? It's upside down. It is the seat. And I think that's another seat over there. So there's obviously two of them around here. Do you remember night driving, or was it night riding or something like that, where it was a black and white game and like the light posts along the way would go at an angle and you had to drive the game? That's what this is. That's what this is. Does it say it on the back? Oh, I was right. Night driver. You got to turn the camera upside down to see that. So somewhere along the line is the other half of the night driver. These counters up top here, these are from Keensburg Amusement Park. These were an Action Arcade, and I built them to hang on the walls in the arcade, and they had merchandise in them. Now, I have them here because I set up this area, and it's measured from that side to this side. You see on that above there, there's those same type of counters on the top. Those are for display of the merchandise types that we used back in the day on either side. And because this has the hardwood floor of the Woolworth store, I saw this section here being a recreation of my Fascination in Keansburg Amusement Park, the Bangos. So it's set up in such a way that if I moved out all this stuff in the middle, I could line up a row of Fascination tables on each wall, and I could have my Bangos up here, and I could have Fascination. And this is the old Fascination control booth from Keansburg Amusement Park. And Phil Kessel used to sit up there in a chair. Can you see the part of it under this black chair? See that chair there? That was Phil Kessel's chair, and the seat of the chair, as I recall quite well, has two indentations, like where two butt cheeks would sit into that chair, and the one side would be indented further than the other because Phil was kind of skinny and used to lean in one direction, so it's got the impressions of Phil Kessel's butt cheeks on that chair, and it's still the chair. And the microphone used to be mounted on this pole, and it had the old-fashioned microphone, and here's your game start right here, and these were your game control buttons. And these buttons, it didn't have a lot of controls. These buttons were all in parallel. They all did the same thing. So why did he have 4 of them? Because they often broke. You see this one? That's busted. That's busted. So he couldn't use that one anymore. So he'd use that one, all right? Or he'd use this one, or this one. But each one of those buttons was important because they controlled the bell when the game winner came in. How did you start the game? You push start, the big contactors would hit, all the power would come on for all the machines, and you'd have to push this little silver button, this little gold button. You push that down to make the bell ring. So you'd start the game, ring the bell, take your finger off, the bell would stop ringing. It wasn't automatic. And then you'd have to push one of these up. Why? Because that would mean it's ready for a winner to come in with a bell. So when the winner would come in, the bell would ring automatically, and then you want to turn the bell off? Turn the bell off to stop the winner bell. Now it's ready for a new game. Push stop to turn the contactors off. Push start to turn the contactors on. Ring the bell. Here we go, a new game. Flip one of them up again so you're ready for a new winner. So this was the process that they had to go through because it wasn't automatic. Was not automatic back in the day. I didn't even use this booth more than the first year that I ran Fascination in Keansburg. I built a new booth, but of course I saved the old Kessel Fascination booth so it could be here when I reset up the Bangos in Randyland as part of the Fascination. So we're going to have the hardwood floors. We have the old style showcases that were in Keansburg, the original control booth for Kessel, and of course the Bangos would be lined up on either side. So you see, it was all planned out. It was planned out and thought out as far as how I was going to do it. And you know, I simply wasn't allowed. So it didn't happen. Will it ever happen? I don't know. 23 years already they've wasted. I don't have another 23, so we shall see how that story ends. And that's how we're going to end it here today at the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Did you push the follow button so you get alerted for the next one? I hope you did so you don't miss it, because these episodes are gold. Gold, my friend, because we're talking about stuff, all the stuff that we love. It's part of our history. Your history, my history, we all lived it, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.